forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear gaming monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. And injustice. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear gaming monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. And injustice. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear gaming monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth. And injustice. Let the glorious battle begin.
Hello and welcome to the finals of the South Asia Championship League powered by LG Ultra Gear. We are here to witness a match between two of the best teams in the tournament, NA Vanguard versus Deimos Force. It is going to be best of three, ladies and gentlemen. And joined with me for this exciting finals is my co-caster Nikhil Balsali, aka CA. CA, man, we have seen these two teams participate a lot throughout the last 3 or 4 months of all the different SSALs that we have seen, but it's the first time that these two teams are facing in the finals. What are your thoughts as we head into this game?
I mean, yeah, it's the first finals for NA Vanguard, and what a time to make it to the finals. For them, immediately though, like you think about Dames first, you think about the number of finals they made it to, and the recurring meme that they're the number two team. They'll definitely want to sort of just solidify their recurring dominance from even the last SSCL and this SSCL to try and make sure that people don't call them the number two team anymore. So for both teams, there's a lot at stake here. For NA Vanguard, The ability to just win in your first finals ever would be humongous. For Deimos Force, this is a sort of a regular experience, something they can pull off.
Yep.
Volibear first pick coming out for any Vanguard, we've seen this so many times.
Yeah, this could be flex jungle or top. This is something that they generally like to pick on the blue side. They even prefer playing blue side. So even if Demos first won the toss and chose to go red, any Vanguard were more than happy to take blue and pick up that not Volibear for themselves. And you can see the Skarner, Trundle, Hecarim being banned out, clearly showing that they are threatened by our boy Forest for DF, who's shown time and time again why he's the best jungler in this tournament. On the other hand, we see an Ash pickup for Crixus. Definitely a great pickup, I would say, because it does provide some CC. And both these teams love to play beefy front lines and a lot of team fighting sort of champions. So interesting to see that has been picked. And the Karma pickup, now this could potentially be a flex. Karma can go mid or support depending on who's playing mid on the other side. But I like these picks coming out already from DF.
Yeah, Karma are really nice, especially into a team that constantly wants to engage and sort of take the fight to you. Blitzcrank coming out for Wonka, though, they're not backing down. They want to take the fight. They want to continuously get into the face of Deimos Force. And I really like the fact that any Vanguard staying true to their identity, even in terms of bans, as you pointed out, all target bans towards Forest. But this sort of just pushes Forest into a non-comfort pick, and when an in-game leader like Forest is pushed into a non-comfort pick, it can be troublesome for the shot calling for that team.
I
Akali coming out, I really like another flex pick.
Yeah, but I'll be very honest with you. Like Forrest doesn't have to worry at all about him getting banned out. He has a champion Ocean. He can play a lot of different junglers. Like he has been multiple times challenger across various seasons. He is comfortable in taking those bans for himself because it also does shut down Ace Lord a bit, right? When Ace Lord can't play the Tundle, when Ace Lord can't play the Nocturne anymore, which is banned out. And I really like the Galio and set bans because now the wombo combo that Vanguard want to play is not happening, and especially with the fact that Ash has picked the Akali for himself does mean that we're going to see a slightly different composition coming out from any Vanguard than what we're generally used to seeing from them. Note that from Demos versus side, Rusty Panda, their star support, is not playing the series today. He's not able to play, unfortunately, but on his place is Ikil Vango, who will be playing support. Now, Ikil Vango does play Leona, he does play Karma, which makes sense as to why that was picked. And Ash being picked right here, CS just suggests that there's some AD bans coming out because Nightmare is the guy you want to look for. He is the carry of Vanguard along with Ash
We
in the mid lane.
fear the
And the fact
shadows.
that Caitlyn Aphelios
Pure
gets banned, Ash
composure.
gets picked, it's is really good. They're targeting him quite a bit, and I feel he might be the one who might be a bit affected. Now he can still play the Vayne if he wants to, but against a composition like that where there's so much range and so much damage as well, I don't think that will be the optimal pick. But what are your thoughts on how Nightmare is kind of getting focused hard in the draft?
Yeah, definitely. Nightmare's like comfortable comfort champions taken out. We saw how good the Aphelios was for him yesterday. And right now, I'm more concerned about whether or not he can. Oh, why? Okay, the Y coming out for Forest, and as you mentioned, the champion Ocean this guy has just clearly showing. Because why? Now that's a pick you don't get to see a lot, but an amazing, amazing pick in combination with Oriana. Like the perfect ball delivery system, one could say, in the way that she's just gonna get to the back line to the exact place you want, just point and click. Maokai coming out assures that the Kali will be going to mid lane. And I really want to see like a long range AD carry here, like Senna if he plays it, a Jin even would be really nice. Goes for the Ezreal, like sacrificing a bit of range for the mobility, which makes sense.
Yeah, which is a good pickup. Honestly, he does need some defenses, and Ezreal is a good pick into the Ash. There's not a lot of champions that can actually win lane against an Ash Karma pick. The bot lane Ezreal is one of those champions that can do well, and they still have some aggression if they want to with the Blitz hooks. Right now, this is an interesting pickup. The Maokai top is susceptible to being countered right here. Now, Darius is a great pickup. Mordekaiser is also one of the pickups that you can go into the top lane, and that is the choice right here. Now, Mordekaiser will be pivotal in all sorts of team fights because Mordekaiser will give you the ability to take one person into the death realm and you cannot do anything at that point. Generally, a great way for teams to win objectives is to just have the Mordekaiser take the enemy jungle into the death realm and then take objectives. So I really like that pick coming out from Tormi. He's comfortable in that champion. He is a mid laner who's playing top right now, but Mordekaiser is one of the picks that he does seem comfortable on. And now that both the compositions are completed, the first thing that strikes me is the fact that we are seeing a wide jungle CA, and that's something that strikes me as a bit surprising as we have not seen White Jungle in a really long time. Pros do not pick in the meta, but Forrest felt that he was comfortable. He feels that this is the right game for us. But walk me through in how you think this Y is going to play into the composition that DF has drafted for themselves.
So it's the Y jungle versus A slot on the Volibear, and the Volibear does have like the early priority in terms of being able to fight, but the Y and basically the entire composition of Deimos Force scales insanely into the mid game, and that's where they have to look to make their mark. Because if you get to that late game stage where Akali has like 3 or 4 items, where Ezreal has 3 or 4 items, suddenly the composition for NA Vanguard becomes too mobile for the Y to catch up with, or even the Mordekaiser to catch up with. So the mid game is where Deimos Force will be looking to make their mark. As for the jungler itself, I'm really curious to see what rune setup he ends up going, because the Hail of Blades is something that I've seen a lot in like just pros pick up in solo queue with Y, but that's not something you generally. Conqueror obviously is the standard summoner choice for many people, and then the really rare summoner choice is the Aftershock if you're choosing to go like the Bruiser kind of build instead of going the damage kind of build. So there are many options for Forrest given the way he wants to play it. And there are many options also in the way he wants to gank. Not a lot of his lanes have gank setup, which is why Y will be really, really good here, because she's able to provide that CC into knockup really easily by herself. Her lanes do have a lot of damage to follow up. So if she's able to get those ganks or even counter ganks through, it would be huge for DF.
Yep, and I'm really liking the fact that we are seeing something different come out from NA Vanguard, right? How many times have we seen NA Vanguard play in the last couple of months, and they've always drafted the Gallios, the Sets, the Nocturnes, this dive heavy composition with Nightmare being the primary carry, and how many times you've seen them win and get to a certain point, but whenever it comes to fighting against the top tier teams, your Exulances, your Deimos Force, they always fall a step behind because those compositions and the way they play just do not work. And they needed to do something different, which is why I like this Akali pick. And I've also known that Ash plays an Akali really well. Now, lesser known things about Ash is that he's not just a guy who plays, your Gallios or your Dianas. He has played Akali. He was known to be an assassin Akali player. I've personally seen this guy play a lot, and he's really good at the game. But then again, you have Oriana, right? Sim Kingdom, aka Savage. This guy's Oriana is a beast right now. So this is really going to be a skill matchup. Akali will have to do whatever she can to survive in the laning phase. But once she does that, then she will have the utility and the tools in her arsenal to get the assassination onto Ash. And Crixus has to be really careful because positioning is going to be key for him. He will have the Akali jumping on him. He will have the Mordekaiser, sorry, the Maokai jumping on him as well. So Ash and Crixus, rather, his positioning is going to be pivotal as we head into game one, guys. Remember that this is a best of three, not a best of five as we've seen in the previous tournament. So it's going to be a maximum of 3 games that these two teams will be playing. As we head into the loading screens here, what are your thoughts in terms of a percentage chance? What do you think of both these drafts, and how do you feel like any particular draft has an advantage heading into late game?
Late game, I definitely prefer the NA Vanguard draft, but I don't think we are going to get into late game. I think given the way Deimos first showed us they like to play yesterday, this is going to be a game that likely is decided around the 10-15 minute mark, and which is why I personally favor Deimos Force's draft, because Ash Karma is so oppressive in lane. The Blitzcrank, Wonka on the Blitzcrank really will have to pull out some miracles to try and get Ezreal a good lane. Similarly for Ash Akali, like he's gonna have an amazing time once he gets 2 or 3 items and he's able to go to the side lane and threaten the kills on whoever comes to the side lane. But till that point, till like 11-9, 11-10, when he's able to actually max out his first ability, he's gonna be so susceptible in lane to the Oriana. And we've seen Savage exactly how aggressive he can be on this Oriana. So overall, Deimos Force, they have this priority all over the map for them. Even Mordekaiser versus Maokai, Mordekaiser should have priority. Just like that, it should just enable this Y. You see the Halo Blades Y, which I'm really, really happy about. That's what I was hoping for. Because I was under the, like, a bit, like, a cloud that perhaps you could end up saying Conqueror. And Conqueror, while is much stronger late game, it's not as strong early game. Halo Blades Y just means that she can take the fight to Volibear every single time she sees him. And that is more enabled by the fact that Demon's Force has the priority in every single lane. So it's going to be about Forest, and when it's about Forest is when Demon's Force looks at their best.
Yeah, and this is what I feel will be the biggest advantage for Deimos Force have. Note that they are not playing with the star support who was one of the primary playmakers of this team along with Forest. But Forest is still there, and if any skirmish happens in the jungle, the synergy of Stormy Forest, Sim Kingdom specifically, will help them get some early advantages. And like you said, I completely agree with you. The Halo Blades is an excellent pickup for those early game skirmishes, man. And even like Volibear has PTA, so Volibear is no slouch when it comes to the early game trades as well. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how and when these junglers will collide, because yesterday you saw how well Vanguard were able to prioritize double scuttle for their team for both the games that they played against Static Type Righteous. So this is going to be a very interesting fight as well for us to see how Forest can get the control of the scuttle as well. And I feel with Oriana and Mordekaiser's here that they like Vi will just have the priority that she needs to get those scuttles.
Yeah, for sure. Like at this point, it's mainly about what Forest can do because uh, this Volibear, if you give him even a little bit of lead, then he will be sort of able to just carry any Vanguard through the mid game, just stabilize his mid lane, stabilize his bot lane, and get more sort of like
Hmm.
comfort for their entire team going into the late game. I'm really curious to see how the level one goes out though, because Deimos first they don't really have a strong level one. They can't really move around the map and try to get some picks. Blitzcrank though, level one, they're going to be raring to invade. Any Vanguard have to try to make a play with that strength going into the early stages of the match. Let's see if they can do that.
Exactly. And the resume has been called off, so we will get started with the game very soon, CA. Do you foresee any sort of invades happening from either teams?
I mean, yeah, NA Vanguard have to go for it, and you see the pings coming out from Deimos first as they want to prepare for it. They're just gonna, yeah, they're gonna like normally just spread out, expecting it. And NA Vanguard not going to fall prey to the Blitzcrank special and not going for the level one invade, which I think is a mistake because like it doesn't really cost you much to go for the instant 5-man stack. You just go try to get a hook. Maybe best case scenario, you get a flash. Worst case scenario, you just mix the hook and come back. So I think a bit of a mistake by NA Vanguard, but you see Forest though drops the ward, and more importantly, the rest of his team also dropping the ward, knowing that the Blitzcrank invade is likely just keeping the entire river illuminated.
Yeah, and I'm waiting to see if there's gonna be an invade coming out, but it does seem like we even with Blitzcrank, they don't want to. And jungle pathing is going to be interesting as well, CA, because you might be seeing why look to start on the top side, which means that she's gonna probably path towards mid to bot rather than helping out the Mordekais in the top lane.
Yeah, it's because the Mordekaiser is very likely to have push in his lane, and it's going to become really difficult trying to gank a Maokai who is actually fairly tanky with his aftershock. Note that this Maokai doesn't have his usual grass; he has the aftershock, just making it like slightly easier for him in lanes and then later in team fights. So, why she's mostly just going to look to focus bot lane and perhaps even mid lane if Oriana doesn't get the push. Bot lane, what you can do as Ash Karma is you can hard push the early few waves and then let the wave bounce back just in time for the white to come back. She's also going for the full power clear with the Krugs getting a helpful extra leash from her top laner to just speed her up that much faster. She's going to be early level 4 as compared to Volibear, who's just doing a normal blue side clear, so that fight will be really important.
Yeah, and you can see already the first hook does miss. In Trix's Karma, once the hook is down, they have all priority in that lane. And this is going to be a little bit difficult for Vanguard across all their laning phases, because that's going to make it difficult for them to be able to get any sort of priority in lane. And if that's the case, then you could see DF starting to snowball with this game that they have right now. So this is going to be really on to Vanguard in playing like just for even sake, trying to not lose the laning phase at all, so that they have a chance to perhaps come back in the mid lane.
Yeah, for sure. Volibear, though, gets an early level 3. He will be in the bot side. If he's able to sort of at least get the summoner spells off of Ashen Karma, that saves a lot of time.
Hmm.
Sorry, a lot of time and like the lane presence for Nightmare and Wonka. Having said that, Forest on the Y is also here. He's just getting his blue buff right now. He'll move on to his Gromp, and then the fight for the Scuttle will be where the action happens. Small
Yeah,
pause
we see
coming
a
out.
quick pause coming out. I guess there's some disconnect happening on the side of any Vanguard right here, and then it just looks like all the laners have started on the right side of the map. They're all doing evenly fine. Uh, Volibear does have slight advantage heading into the game right now. He has finished his three camps already. Went for the blue. then did his red, when then did his Gromp, and then just did red, and he came back bot. And I think he might be looking for a bot ganks here. Do you foresee this working out? I'm guessing they're looking for a flash or something, because if the Blitzcrank is there and the pressure gets created, then one of these people will have to flash. But having said that, Y is on the bottom side hovering as well. She's nearly done with her blue. She is healthy enough to also join them if need be. So we could potentially see the first skirmish of the game happen on the bot side of the map, or we could potentially see the junglers just be like, you know what, guys, coming, go back to farm. It isn't going to happen because both the junglers are really looking for this six. I mean, specifically Y, she is looking for her level six, but that can guarantee like a kill, right? If Y goes in the mid lane, uses her ultimate on the Akali, that's like stationary target right there. Oriana can follow up with her ulti, and they have enough damage to kill that person, right? So this is what Forrest wants to do, and he wants to get Scuttle priority. But if for any chance Volibear is in his way, he's not going to be afraid to go ahead and trade against him. So the lane so far is looking fine for the bot side, I have to say, even for the top side. So far things are going well, but it's too early to say anything, as we are just waiting for any Vanguard to reconnect, and we are seeing reconnects coming out. So hopefully we don't have to wait long before the game starts.
Yeah, for sure. Like, Volibear could go for a gank bot side, especially given the fact that there are no wards from the side of Deimos Force in the bot side river. But it's a question of how much he commits, because I would want to see Volibear come bot side, try to go for a gank, but just try to get a flash. Don't actually overcommit and try to get a kill, and you'll be fine. You can come back later and exploit the fact that you got that flash off. The real fight, as you said, will happen at Scuttle Crab, and it'll be NA Vanguard's first real test to see if they can actually stand up to Deimos first. Because if you notice, Oriana has the full push in the mid lane, Ash Karma, the wave slowly pushing in the bot lane. Ezreal does not have the wave clear and will not want to actually leave his wave and come fight for the crab. So Volibear really shouldn't be contesting for the crab. He should try to go for a mid gank onto Oriana and then just move his way to the top Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, and the resume has been called out right here. Let's have a look at how Laning Face is going. Zhao Raven, now this guy, right, very underrated player. Honestly, he knows matchups really well. But here comes the gang we see here, and the flash goes over to Crixus. Crixus is going to die. Beautiful play coming out from Ace Lord right there. Lands the stun onto Crixus, catches first blood for himself, and Vanguard get the first kill of the game.
It's just a bit of disrespect, I think, coming in from Crixus to not flash as soon as you see the Volibear, because when you see the Volibear, the first thing you expect is just flash Q. Because if he lands the flash Q, then it's so easy for the Blitzcrank to land the follow-up CC, and that's exactly what happens. Getting the first blood onto the Volibear absolutely clutch, because as I mentioned before, this Volibear is who can carry his team through the mid-game stage where Deimos Force will look the best.
Yeah, and that's a good start. The first kill goes over, and Vanguard are not done. They want to go after the
Oh
Blitzcrank.
my god.
The hook does land Simple. Oh, it's a very good flash from Sim Kingdom right there. If Oriana didn't insta flash right there, then she would have been another dead character. Very well played there from Wonka and Ace Lord. They are the roam squad right now for any Vanguard, and they have gotten the flash of the mid lane as well. So very aggressive start coming out right here for Vanguard, and both the carries are now flashless. Let's see what Forest does in response. Now, Forest wants to go for the scuttle, but Forest cannot do the scuttle. Now, not only do they lose the bot scuttle, they also lose the top scuttle. Double scuttle priority. Vanguard, Ace Lord. This guy is on fire in the first game.
Yeah, just that small mistake coming in from the bot lane loses them priority in the bot lane. That lets Blitzcrank roam over to mid lane, causing Akali to get priority in the mid lane, and therefore losing the like able to get Maokai collapsing too. Just gets them the huge advantage. Just like that. Any Vanguard actually coming out swinging, this is something I really like. They're not stepping back, using the Blitzcrank and the Volibear, which are their more playmaker champions in the early game, to get the Ash and the Ezreal on to that mid game, late game stage where they have the couple items can take over the game.
Yeah, note that, guys, there is no Rusty Panda right here, so the synergy between I Kill Vanguard and Crixus is not as well developed as the one with Rusty Panda. Now, try as they might, First Lord does go down. Having said that, the CS deficits, you know what, it's actually doing well. Akali is up on CS against Oriana because of the flash in the mid lane. Now she does not have the priority to just keep pushing and poking. And in fact, she's the one who's low on health. And Sim Kingdom's having a bit of a difficult game. In the top side, however, you do see Turby doing well enough to poke Zhao Raven as much as he can. And now Zhao Raven is nearly out of mana, but the wave is there. And he is just surviving in that lane that he looks to do that. In the bot lane, you can see, however, that Ace Lord, sorry, is looking to go and path again. Now, can he do it? Never mind, he decides not to. There is a pink ward right there by Deimos to prevent any sort of ganks from happening. But Ezreal is just like, look at him. He's gotten a decent freeze for himself here, and at this point, he's going to be a happy camper and just in farming in this phase, laning phase against the Caitlyn Karma. Sorry,
Yeah,
Ash Karma.
especially considering the fact that Nightmare is one of the main carries generally for NA Vanguard. This is huge for him. He's gonna get a CS lead because of this freeze that he's set up for himself, and that's gonna be huge into a lane where he's actually supposed to be oppressed. He's gonna be able to go by, get his tier really early, and get the build on point for the dragon fight.
Oh my lord. Forest just leashes the blue for volleyball. Volleyball is like, you know what, guys, thank you a lot. I just puts a pink right there, uses the bottle, and gets the first dragon for himself. This is a very uncharacteristic game coming out from Forest. I have to say, maybe he's the fact that his team is behind, but they are not looking that good in the early game. And generally, DF is a team that wins through jungle before they win through any other lane right now. So this is looking good for any Vanguard right here as they found themselves with the first dragon, with the first kill, and with CS leads for the main carries in mid and bot side.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate for a DF right here because, as you said, looking
So
very
this could be a
uncharacteristic.
kill right here. Tony can look to press his ultimate, decides not to do that. And Zhao Raven's like fine. And Zhao Raven, in fact, has just built himself up a Bami Cinder. No Emma right here. He feels that he is tanky enough to survive any sort of onslaught coming out from the Mordekaiser damage. Mordekaiser right now is not that strong yet, mind you. He still needs an item or two before he can really start to solo this guy. Unless, of course, Maokai like, mispositions in a certain way or the other. But now the game is looking... You could see the momentum is in the favor of Vanguard, isn't it, right now, here?
Yeah, for sure. Like the Maokai especially, I just checked, he's taken the double magic resist from the rune, so he's feeling a bit more comfortable than he normally would because of the fact that he just has that built in, especially with the aftershock. He can easily just heal in from his passive auto attacks and just sort of stay in lane, do his job as such. The fact that he's even in CS is absolutely huge for NA Vanguard because that's another lane that Deimos Force should be just winning outright. Having said that, Deimos Force, it's not like they're done and dusted, like it's over, it's nothing like that. They still excel in the mid game area with the Ashe ultimate, the Vi ultimate, the Orianna ultimate, and the Mordekaiser ultimate. So it's about them being able to use this next 5 minutes or so to try and swing the game back in their favor.
Yeah, like so far Vanguard will be happy taking this win, but it doesn't mean, like you said, that the game is entirely over at this point. Let's see what the next object contention is right now. Now, DF Forest is 6, level 6. Why you can expect a gang coming in either of the lanes that you want to, but with flashes yet being up and Oriana or anyone not having enough damage yet, I'm not sure how useful that ultimate is going to be. But let's keep an eye out on Vi and see where she decides to path in this game. Meanwhile, Vanguard yet again have a freeze on their side, man. Like, they are just happy just farming under their own tower just ahead of it, and Ash's life has become harder because now they have to be the one again to start pushing that wave. And you can see a nice 10 CS lead developing already for Nightmare and Wonka on that bot lane. Ash, Karma not really being that explosive or lethal in laning phase as you would expect them to be. Blitzcrank pressure, Wonka just keeping that up right now, making sure that his AD carry is farm and he's getting enough farm. In the top side, man, Vanguard, this is a great objective call for them. There is no Y in the vicinity at all. Easy scuttle, they get the dragon, they get the scuttle. They're taking all the objectives on the map right now.
So Ash Karma is a oppressive lane mainly because of the Karma. So it's up to the Karma to sort of get, oh my god.
Oh, the flash does land from Ash. Now Ash does have his own flash. Ash eventually does decide to flash, but the flash from Ezreal is also there. Crixus will survive to the skin of his teeth. Both flashes, both summoners being used. The only thing that is not being used is the flash from the Karma, but here comes the teleport, the double teleport. Is that the Mordekaiser? Yes, it is. Now, can the Mordekaiser press the ultimate on the Ezreal? Yes, he can, but look at this. Karma dies in the process, and a flash auto. Can Nightmare survive? No, he cannot. Can Nightmare... Oh, never mind. Can Maokai survive this? Ash damage is there, but here comes Wally Bear. But here comes Orianna. Here comes Akali. It's going to be a 5-man fight happening. Kirby's going to be in trouble. Beautiful hook right there. The Orianna ultimate is important. 3-man Orianna ultimate, but that's not going to be enough. enough because Ash gets a double kill, and that's going to be a near ace for Vanguard. Triple kill for the Akali, and Vanguard are showing up huge in this game 1 of the SCCL finals.
That's humongous for Vanguard because the Akali gets a triple kill. And like let's just forget for a second how far behind Deimos was went because that triple kill alone, this Akali who just had Merc Treads before this is gonna be able to go back, pick up an Hextech Revolver for her, pick up the Wham Scepter and just accelerate her way to the Gunblade because it's gonna start looking really scary for Orianna even in lane if she's able to get to that Gunblade like in about the next few minutes. Not good from Deimos Force whatsoever. The TP is coming in too late to make a commitment to that play. If you want to make a commitment to that play, the TPs need to be coming much earlier. And even if you have pulled up the TP later, Trixer should never be stepping back. The Maokai just flash rooting him, knowing that he has no flash. Another dragon over to NA Vanguard. And now with the 2000 goal lead, NA Vanguard are very comfortable going into the mid game. The mid game where Deimos Force is supposed to be strong.
Yeah, like honestly, like how much of this is just a lack of synergy from DF and Vanguard showing up on point. This is the Vanguard that we've seen in the semi-finals. This is the Vanguard that we've seen in the quarterfinals, and I like the fact that they're not just going for 4 beefs and 180 carry like damage. Like any Ash, when you put him on a damage carry, this is like what I love to see in this game. Like Ash himself is a major carry of the game. Whenever he's relegated to playing stuff like Galio or something that just provides peel for his AD carry, that's not always the most best way rather for Vanguard to win. But when you put Ash on a carry, he has shown time and time again that he can perform. And now 3 kills out of Kali, 2 kills out of Maokai, right? So the solo laners are insanely fed right now. And it's going to be very hard for DF to come back from this because even though the goal lead is 2k, right, it doesn't matter the momentum, the fights. Like I just don't see how DF are going to win right now. Let's see if they can make some catches with the Y, because Y ult is still there, can still be used, but the Volibear is big right now. Now Forest could be in trouble. Can his Q come back to cooldown? Yes, it can. He will run away, but that was a close one.
Yeah, the problem right now is that Deimos Force relegated to sort of trying to turtle and play the safe playstyle, but
Oh, and you can see right here, Sim Kingdom's like, you know what, Blitz? I have had enough of you trying to hook me. Just uses his shockwave under the tower, catches a Blitzcrank and auto attacks him to death. So finally, Sim Kingdom comes online and gets a kill for himself right there. And you know, DF needed that reprieve, honestly. You know, whenever you get a kill in that game, you feel okay, you know what, the game is not completely out of your hand. And Sim Kingdom getting a kill for himself will help him get to his item spikes as well. So well played there, and Wonka just being a tad bit too aggressive in that game.
yeah, for sure. Orianna has her ultimate back in about 45 seconds, so what I really want to see from Deimos Force now is get that shutdown. Akali has a 300 gold shutdown. Use your own, like the only carries who have kills is the Mordekaiser, who's going to be doing just fine into the Maokai, even though the Maokai has sort of accelerated his tank build. The Maokai is still happy, he's got his Leandris, he'll be farming up and he'll still be the beast later. If you can get this Orianna online, then your comp actually has a win condition in the Y ult with the Orianna, but Forest is gonna get caught.
Yeah, Forest, man. Oh, silence from Blitzcrank. He's going to die again. And Ace Lord is the one who picks up this kill for himself right there. And my lord, NA Vanguard yet again have found themselves a catch. And it's going to be Volibear who picks up the kill. I think this game 1 is looking like it's going to be very hard for DF to come back from. I don't know if I have the faith in them to see what happens right here. Let's see if DF can make a comeback, but the way this game is going, with how much priority bot lane has for NA Vanguard, previously known as Lanka Alliance, the best team of Sri Lanka, showing up huge right now.
Yeah, definitely. And like, yeah, this is the problem, right? Like Akali doesn't even have her Hextech Gunblade. You can see how much pressure she's able to get back in lane given the damage she does. Once she gets her Gunblade is when she's gonna get really online. After that, every single item just exponentially puts her further ahead of the Orianna in terms of the straight up 1v1. In terms of a team fight, the Orianna will always have that shockwave utility, like the shockwave instant damage to be able to impact. But in terms of the 1v1, there's no way to answer the Akali on the side. But
oh, you can see the ultimate being used. The Asher does miss. Can Ash survive? He does not survive. He will.
No.
However, no, he does
Oh my
survive. What a Chad play right there from tried to press his assault and battery, but was not able to kill him right there. And things are just not looking good at all for Deimos Force right here. Nothing is working the way they want it to work. This composition, this wipe pickup, I'm sorry to say, CA, has just not worked out for them.
It's because they're trying to play too greedy, to be perfectly honest. Like, why right there? She got the Q after the shockwave by Sim Kingdom. You have to immediately follow up by the ultimate. You just can't hope that your damage will be enough. Because if you give Akali even 1 second, she's gonna pop into her shroud and buy so much time, as you saw for the rest of her team to follow up. And Wonka, he's on point with this Blitzcrank. We usually see him with like champions like Leona or Braum, where he's sort of relegated to being less of a playmaker in the early game and be more impactful in team fights. Now he's put on Blitzcrank when he's just able to take over the early game by himself, coming up huge for NA Vanguard. And now after that kill going over to Volibear once again, this Volibear starting to get really tanky with Maokai. It's just the problem that any Vanguard have such a simple composition. They have two beefy frontliners, they have the Blitzcrank to try to make plays, and then they have two important carries who are extremely mobile. It's just Deimos Force don't really seem to have a win condition.
Yeah, and finally, though, they are looking to get their first dragon off the game. You could potentially see a fight coming here. Blitzcrank and Volibear are waiting to jump inside. Can they go and jump? Yes, they can. The Mordekaiser uses the Volibear ultimate, so his own ultimate himself. Crixus will just die to Ash. Even through exhaust, he kills him. He kills two people through exhaust. Termi, he's trying to kill the Volibear, but he's just so tanky. Does not matter. 1v3 situation for Termi right here. He will, however, get one back. Can he get another is the question, but here comes Akali. When Akali is here, you will run away with fear, but that doesn't matter because Ace Lord gets the kill regardless. It's gonna be a 4-for-1 at the end of the day, and yes, they lose Dragon, but that's still a very big win for any Vanguard.
I think my biggest problem with this composition is the Karma pickup. I understand that Rusty Panda not being there sort of damages your synergy, but if you are going for the Ash Karma, you really have to be able to play the oppressive lane style. Just not happening at all, and Crixus, one of the main carries for Deimos Force, has been so absent from this game. He now, every single fight, he's just gonna get instantly one-shot by Ash on the Akali, and the fact that he's also not available puts so much pressure onto the Orianna Savage or Mordekaiser on the Turby. Oh,
He lands Soak again, and Karma honestly is as useless as nipples on a man right here, dude. I have no idea what's happening with that Karma pick, but it's just not going to be fun. Vanguard are just steamrolling this game right now, and DF are like, you know what, guys, let's just go to next game. Let's just figure out what we can do, because with a 5,000 goal lead at 18 minutes in the game, like, I just don't know how Vanguard will lose from here, unless of course they throw a lot. But let's see how things progress, because one thing is, there is an Orianna ultimate. If Orianna gets enough items, there is a small world where Orianna lands the clutch shockwave that can catch a couple of people, kill them, and if Ash dies right now, then I still see there's a way in which Mordekaiser and Termi, they can end up winning this game. So let's see if that can happen or not.
for sure. But like Ash going for the Maranonomicon build, he's at least got the magic penetration for himself. That's gonna be so huge because even in general, like none of Deimos Force building magic resist, Akali's just basically gonna go do true damage at this point, and he's just gonna start melting people left, right, center. But yeah, you're right. If Ash does die, if they're able to pick up that 500 gold bounty onto him, preferably onto the Orianna, then they might actually be able to claw their way back into the game.
Exactly. With the top lane tower also now going down, all the outers are going to be down very soon. And Termi, oh, he lands a very nice catch onto the Azir. That's going to be a kill right here. Termi, man, this guy is taking a Chad right now. Everyone's inside the Mordekaiser AoE damage. This is the fight that Vanguard cannot win. Why does a lot of damage? Volibear, raid boss, goes down. Karma survives. Triple kill. Go Termi, go is the spam on chat. And go Termi, go is what he's doing right now as he picks himself 3 kills for himself.
So the one thing I'm curious about right there is Volibear had a 400 gold bounty, but we didn't see the notification saying Mordekaiser got the 400 gold bounty. I'm not sure, but I assume he did because the bounty doesn't exist anymore. 3 kills to Mordekaiser, that's about 1,000 400 gold advantage, and just like that, instantly, Deimos Force do have a win condition because this Mordekaiser, like, he's going to be so much more of a threat. Just pulling, if he can pull Ezreal, or even if he can pull the Akali now into the ultimate, it will help his team so much. Just bring Crixus back into the game and allow him to actually have some sort of impact. Brilliant ultimate by Crixus though to start it all off.
Yeah, this was a great play, and now he has double buffs, right? So Mordekaiser can win these trades against our Raven, who also has a adaptive health, mind you, so he's not any less tanky. But that's the thing, right? Unless you build a QSS on your Ezreal, then Ezreal is going to simply die every time to the Mordekaiser. There's nothing that Ezreal can do at this point. I feel even Ashe might have difficulty in the ultimate of the Mordekaiser's death realm right here. But the third dragon, the fourth dragon of the game is spawning right now. Mordekaiser's ultimate will be up right here. You know, Orianna has finished her Seraph's Embrace. Y is very close to finishing her Triforce, but will not have it complete before the dragon spawns. And Ashe, you know, Crixus is having a very difficult game right here, 0-4-4, but he still has his one item also. So they are at a power point where they can do something, but I just feel that they might not win this team fight because Vanguard have priority on the dragon right now, and I feel it might just be smart of DF to give it up because it's not soul point yet. And I think that's exactly what they're doing. In fact, they're choosing to go for top side, choosing to farm their own lanes and give away this dragon. I think that's a smart call from them.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, Deimos Force's priority is just to get as much gold as they can onto the Orianna and onto the Mordekaiser. He's picked up his Nashor's Tooth, which will be huge for him in fights. Now he just needs to pick up this turret, get that extra gold just lying around. Ideally, make his way towards the Morellonomicon for the Grievous Wounds onto, like, healing champions like Volibear, Maokai, even Ashe on the Akali to a certain extent with his X-Tech Gunblade. So, the biggest problem for me for NA Vanguard right now is themselves. Like, even yesterday we saw that they got amazing leads in the early game, but like almost falling short to a brand new team in Static Tribe who were able to almost pull it back in both games. That almost pull it back will definitely be a pull it back against an experienced team like Deimos Force. If you make mistakes against Deimos Force, they will claw the game back from you and actually pull it back for themselves. So I'm just hoping NA Vanguard learned from their game yesterday and are able to actually improve their mid-game shot calling and like sort of just snowball this game throughout without giving up any sort of a lead.
Yeah, both the AT carries are not having a great game, I have to say.
Yeah.
0-2-4, 0-4-4, not having any impact. It's all the mid-top jungle right now for Lanka Lions, or rather NA Vanguard is also for Deimos Force with Termi just playing out of his mind right now. And you are expecting the Karma to maybe just be there to provide the shields and the peel necessary for a team. But with how fed Ashe is right now, two completed items, I just feel exhaust or R plus E shields are just not going to be enough for DF to like survive these fights. So I don't know what Ashe as in Texas's pickup is going to be right here, but he has to be very, very, very off his positioning in the next couple of team fights. And you know, like funnily enough, like CA, like Y has gone full damage. That's a warrior build with Triforce when he's 1-4, no tank at all. He just wants to do damage, it looks like, but because of how squishy he is, I reckon he cannot win in those skirmishes. He's probably just going to ult and die as soon as he can. So not really sure how that pickup will work, but you do see Vanguard are now warding around the Baron. They want to start this, and they really want to make some picks happen, and Wonka will be their guy to make those picks happen, right? Can they get it is the question. We'll have to wait and see. Now Termi is finishing up his Zonya as well, has the Seeker's Arm Guard for himself. Some armor is going to be helpful against, I guess, the Ezreal or even some of the Volibear, but the Zonya will help him survive for longer in teamfights, which is what his objective is. And two complete items for the Ashe, for the Ezreal other. So Nightmare is in a great spot as well. He has two complete items. He will start dishing out significant damage, and Crixus is still playing catch up to the entire team.
Yeah, so while the warrior build is not like the greatest in the situation is, I do like it for one reason. It's because it sort of enables Termi in the win condition, because Termi right now he's going to be end up going alone in his quest to the backline of NA Vanguard. And we have to remember that despite everything NA Vanguard have pulled off, there's still the usual NA Vanguard composition where they have two carries. They have the Ashe and the Nightmare, like the Akali and the Nightmare. And without those two carries, they're sort of, oh no.
Oh, The hook does land, and we are able to get another kill back. My lord, again, Mordekaiser in trouble. Mordekaiser trying as he want to do the 1v4 might not be able to kill off Ace Lord. No, can he do that? No, his ultimate runs out and he gets the shutdown. And guess who gets the shutdown, CA? It's the Ezreal who grabs that big juicy shutdown. And with the jungler and top laner dead, with the bot laner, with the mid lane and the bots at the map, this could be a free Baron. NA Vanguard make the perfect catch through a brilliant hook by Monka, and they are Wonka, and they're able to get the Baron for themselves.
Yeah, for sure. Like, this is what I wanted to see from NA Vanguard. Maintain your proactiveness. Oh, right, they're actually becoming really aggressive. They're gonna get the Baron, and this sets them up for the entire game. They have absolutely no excuse to sort of lose the game now because you can use this Baron to pick up the remaining turrets, like pick up that last tier 1 top turret, pick up maybe one mid turret in the like the tier 2, and then set yourself up for the Infernal Soul Point coming up in 1 minute. If you get Infernal Soul Point onto this Akali, it really doesn't matter how fed anyone on the side of Deimos Force is, the Akali will 1v5.
Yeah, Sim Kingdom has honestly just opted to mega heavy farm right now. He's farming at 10 CS a minute, has completed his Leandri's Torment, has even gotten himself a needlessly large rod. So we are now going to look at Sim Kingdom on that Oriana to be able to create the potential opportunities that his team needs. Let's see if he's able to do that, however, because with 35 seconds to go
Oh,
here, Infernal Soul being popped, never mind then. Why gets hooked yet again? Can the Oriana be used for protection? No, it cannot. Ooh, Forest survives through the skin of his teeth. That Monka is just crazy on those Blitzcrank hooks, isn't he?
yeah, Wonka more like Monkas, because like he keeps landing every single hook onto Forest, and I feel bad for Forest, man. It's not like okay, the last pick he was definitely out of position, but right here he's just trying to get some vision for his team because he needs to with the Infernal Soul Point coming up, and Wonka just like nope. Every single time you try to do something, I will be there. I will deny it. And now Deimos was actually trying to get onto the Ezreal, but that might not be the right call because the Ezreal can easily get away with his E
Yeah,
inflat.
the ult doesn't land and they're still hard committing to the Ezreal and they decide, you know what guys, soul isn't happening, giving it up. I mean, at this point it just screams desperation for the for the side of TF right here. I mean, they're fighting. They finally did pick up the rolls in the mid game, but by this time it's too late. 4 dragons, soul point for Vanguard, Baron for Vanguard, an extremely fed mid lane assassin for Vanguard. They are looking to siege and hopefully look to end this game. Now, the game isn't over as of yet, but look at these beefy front lines. Maokai, Wally, Bercier. How much tankiness do they have? Adaptive Helm, Spirit Visage, Sunfire Cape, Dead Man's late right there, and I don't think they are going to die to the Ash, who just has completed her second item. Now she does have some anti-heal for herself, which is very important, mind you, but it's still not looking to be enough. You're looking at Sim Kingdom to land a beautiful
Oh,
ultimate. That's like the only way to see it happen. The ultimate shot does land from Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser uses that to get the blitz tank. You know what? He's tired of the blitz tank. Here comes TF Forest. The ultimate lands on 2 people. It does not land on Ash because he's Zonyard. And Mordekaiser is going
oh,
beastly right up. Beautiful usage of stopwatch. Get a couple of kills for himself. Even with Soul on the side of Vanguard, they lose this team fight because of how well Termi and Sim Kingdom have played. The E lands, the stopwatch gets used, but it's going to be an ace for Deimos Force. 2 kills Victober for the Ash, a 5-4-2 at the end of the day, and Deimos Force reply back with a great team fight.
that's what you cannot give Deimos Force. Even if you have Soul, you cannot give Deimos Force that space, that gold, that sort of time to sort of pull themselves back into the game. This just sets them up so well to try and actually make a contest for the Elder Dragon. Brilliant shockwave coming in from Savage and followed up by an amazing Zhonya's play from Termi. Termi is absolutely on fire. He's going to be able to finish his Zhonyas now and actually upgrade that stopwatch into the Zhonyas. That means permanently having the Zhonyas. And that's something that NA Vanguard need to figure out how to play around. Like, do you want to play front to back or do you want to play kite and disengage while your Akali goes on to via backline? Because if you try to do both at the same time, which they tried to do last time, then Mordekaiser will literally just sit in the middle of fight and kill everybody.
Yeah, and the biggest thing right here is Ash gets a couple of kills, and Ash got the shutdown that uh, Akali had, right? So Crixus is going to be a really happy camper. He picks himself up the Hex Drinker immediately, realizing that his survival is more important than the fact that he's going to do damage, because he still has two items that can do damage, but he just wants to survive right here. Picks himself up the Hex Drinker, which will make him not die instantly to the Akali. Mordekaiser is just like a raid boss at this point, isn't he, here? Because he has three items. He's going for what looks like a Morello Nomicon. I'm not sure. Why is now also going for okay, what is that, a frozen mal? I have no idea what why is going for, but Rabidon's completed 300 farm at 30 minutes. Sim Kingdom is online, and how 2-1-4. This guy had a slightly difficult early game, but he did not want to give up. And with three items completed, Rabidon's, Liandry's, and Seraph's Embrace here. This is looking a tough game. But here comes Ash. The ultimate does land. Can any Ash do something? Oh, the shout gets used, and Ash has to ulti out as well. Both ults being sponsored, but good on why to survive. And now Sim Kingdom. Oh my lord, Mordekaiser is in trouble. DF Force gets the kill onto Ash as well. 1-for-1. The two raid bosses in each team go down, but it's Vanguard who get themselves another tower, and top lane is going to be in trouble because the onslaught of Vanguard has just begun. But Ash does go down. He also uses his flash in accordance with the flash of Y as well, so that's going to be really important for the next couple of team fights. Remember, Dragon is in 30 seconds here. Do you think they want to siege here, or should they just go back and try to farm up the Baron and look to get Baron for themselves?
They need to back in about the next 15-20 seconds, but oh my god.
The hook line of Simkina, can he survive? The RE being used does not matter. Wonka, what a Chad you are. Wonka single-handedly making sure that his team will not lose. But this is not the fight that they want. They're stuck between two towers right here. Wonka might have just bitten off a little more than he should have. And Nightmare is there. BF Forest presses the Q, survives. I don't know how he does, but what are Vanguard doing? Oh, the Mordekaiser ultimate gets used as a nice QSS from Nightmare, but he has to run away. He should be fine, but that's still a great team fight for these guys. And the EQ does not land, and the exhaust gets used as well. Termi is in trouble. Here comes Crixus. The stopwatch gets used, and Crixus will go down, and Termi almost goes down, but he will survive. And just when you think Vanguard are winning team fights through amazing plays from Wonka, DF find a way to keep coming back in the game. And I feel like Vanguard are just throwing a little on this here.
Yeah, if you get the brilliant Blitzcrank hook, you get the Orianna kill. She also has a shutdown that you get for yourself. Leave. Just leave right there. Just go home, spend your money, come back. You do not need to engage under the turret, dive under multiple base turrets, and just sort of give your opponents the chance to get that goal back for themselves. Because at that point, even if you take an even fight, it's actually worth it. For Deimos Force, they didn't lose a single structure throughout that. They lost one top lane turret in the first trade that came out, but after that, they didn't lose a single structure. Their Orianna is able to come back right up and get another bounty. She has more items.
This time the land, but Wonka hooks by himself, and Forest like, you know what, you're gonna hook me, I'm gonna get you back. Can they kill? Oh, they're looking to kill, but if Forest dies right there, it's gonna be the end of the game for DF, and he will run away. Flash getting used right here, and wait 15 seconds to go, and no flash on the Blitzcrank, and the fact that he's 100, only like half HP, this could potentially be a fight that Force can look like. My lord, Forest is playing so Chad, I have to say. Like, he's just like trying to frontline right now. He's going for a dead man split, it looks like, for himself. Now, do Vanguard start this fight or not is the question. Do if start this fight or not is the question as well. They decide not to start first, but it's going to be very hard because whoever starts first will have to tank a lot of Elder's damage, and neither of these teams want to do that. Meanwhile, you're seeing Ezreal just farming in the mid lane, pushing that wave out. Crixus is going to go and respond to him as well. And with how far ahead everyone is in the game right now, your eyes have to be on the Mordekaiser, Orianna, and the Akali. Any of these three champions are going to take over team fights if they choose to. And now Wonka is at like half HP right now. He is looking to catch another more people right now. No flash on the Ashe, no flash on the Akali as well. The hook does not land. The damage of Orianna, however, does land, and you can see already Sim Kingdom is online as well. RE being used. They want to go after the Mordekaiser, and the Maokai will not dive. In fact, the other person will die. Crixus is in trouble as well. Akali on the other side. Oh, it's a beautiful 3-minute ultimate coming out from Orianna right there, and Orianna damage is real. Turn me damage is real. I kill Vanko is alive, but NA Ashe does the miraculous play, gets the double kill, kills the carries of TF right here, and they are looking to get to the Elder for themselves. Beautifully played team fight right there. NA Ashe making him the MVP of this team fight.
That I think that's a huge misexecution coming out from Deimos Force. The fact that they end up splitting up, NA Ash buying so much time on the other side while his team just sort of slowly but surely pushing front to back. They're gonna get the Elder, they're gonna get the Baron with almost every single buff in the game. Given the fact that they have Dragon Soul, they really should be able to complete and finish off the game right now.
This is their game to completely close it. And I feel like they had a great start, but it still took them 35 minutes to get to a point where it looks like now they finally have the game in their bags. But I wouldn't be so sure yet, because the inhibitors have not gone. It ain't over until the fatality sings here. And with the fact that 3 inhibitors are still up, Elder is almost like half done because of the fact they spent time doing Baron. They might just have Baron buff when they start to do the team fight. So Vanguard, now would be the time for them to be really aggressive if they want to, like the aggression they were showing earlier in the start when they were trying to force stop and they got a hook and they chased regardless. If they want to do that, now would be a great time because they have Elder. So they have enough DPS to still kill people through the Elder Bone and the Elder passive right here. But Forest, man, he gets caught out trying to jump on the Maokai. He is not tanky enough yet and gets insta-gibbed right here by any Vanguard. And Sim Kingdom, he's looking to finish off his Banshees. Now, does he have enough gold is the question. I don't think he does. We'll have to wait and see if he can get that. Any Ash, Ash on the other side has finished her Infinity Edge. So Crixus is going to do a lot of damage as well. And why? Why just has to make sure that she does not get caught out right here. Elder buff is still on any Vanguard for around a minute more, or around 45 seconds. If they want to take a team fight, now would be the time. If I was DF, I would just give the mid lane tower. Be like, you know what, guys, it's not happening. Because the top lane tower is massively pushing in favor of DF. So top lane cannot be sieged at all. Bot lane could be the next siege. And DF do not want to fight at Elder. DF are like, hey, you know what? We need to wait till the Elder buff goes down and then we can look to fight right now. Inhibitor is still up and Aestor is looking to tank himself. He does go in eventually. Vanguard, Ash, Akali rather, is pushing the bot side of the map, so they should look to get 2 inhibitors from this push. Elder buff still there for Vanguard here.
So something that isn't as impactful, but I just noticed, is Sim Kingdom actually has futures market. The small rune coming in from the inspiration lineup, and that's something we never get to see. Really interesting. Enables him to get his Banshees. 2 inhibitors they do end up losing, but they really will not mind because right now NA Vanguard really have to go for the end of the game while they have Elder. Because
Yeah,
if they're not
Elder has died down, but they got 2 inhibitors, right? So that would be a worthy trade, I guess. They got 2 inhibitors, Elders goes down, Baron will go down in around 40-30 seconds. So they got what they wanted, but the game's still not over.
yeah, the problem is that as the game gets longer and longer, Deimos Force are the people who are actually utilizing their gold better as compared to NA Vanguard. NA Vanguard have hit their power spikes. Okay, they have one power spike left that just came through just now, which is the Kali getting a Rabadon's death cap. But look at the Volibear. He basically has every single item he wants. Same for the Maokai, he has almost every single item he wants. Ezreal has his Hex Trinket and his QSS too. Only the Mercurial Scimitar left. So every 1,000 gold that Deimos Force get is much more valuable to Deimos Force than it is to NA Vanguard. So you have to try to finish the game before Deimos Force are able to get to that point where the Orianna Shockwave just basically one-shots the team. It doesn't matter if you have Infernal Soul, because I do believe that Sin Kingdom will be able to get those clutch Shockwaves. He's almost always in every single fight managed to get at least 3 people with a Shockwave. If you are really, oh my god.
Yeah, they're looking for a flash and oh, the Banshee does survive. And Y goes in, but Y goes in a tad bit too early and they will still survive. There is no Baron, mind you, so the siege is still looking fine on the side of DF right here. There is no Baron, mind you. There is no Banshee, mind you. There is no flash on the Blitzcrank, mind you. So I think they can survive right here. As long as they can get this wave, they should be fine. And they are looking to fight, aren't they? Vanguard are itchy right now. Vanguard know that they have the game in their bag. They just need to get this one more tower, and they are going to get it. They're just going to tank it because why not, right? When you have 4,000 HP front lines in the side of a big bear and a big tree, the big tree and the big damn bear are just tanking the whole tower, and now the third inhibitor will go down. And surely now this would be the time where DF might just end up giving this game up. Let's see how this happens with 3 inhibitors down. These kind of comebacks, if they ever happen, can only be considered as miraculous, can't they? But Vanguard are looking strong. Vanguard are making the last push. They land the Blitzcrank with a nice use of Zonia. The stopwatch does come as well. Wonka will look to die. Beautiful Orianna ultimate, but look at how tanky they are. Ash is looking to do a lot of damage as well. Can Ash get the miraculous kills? Yes, he can. Ash as well played that really well. And for how fed Turmy is on that champion, he can't. Oh, never mind. He can Mauka is still alive. Oriana, the only other person alive. Can this woman work like clockwork to save her team from dying? No, she cannot. Nightmare with the soul damage gets the fifth kill. Ace over. Vanguard win game 1 in a very closely contested series, mind you. And I feel we have an amazing series of our hand in this best of 3.
Yeah, for sure. Deimos are going to want to come back into that they are going to come back into that really angry looking to get back game 2, because Vanguard, they have to have so much confidence having with one game 1, especially with the composition that they haven't really shown before on the stage. Now, what does Deimos really do? Do you ban this Akali? If then, do you give up the set or the Galio? Do you give Vanguard their comfort champions knowing that they can pull other champions out of the plate? It's really up to Deimos to sort of improvise. I would really say I want this Karma gone. If you really want utility in your support, give him a Tom Kench. Just keep Crixus safe. Get Crixus out of lane because I know Crixus can carry.
Yep, and with game 1 getting done, look at the damage dealt. Mordekaiser all the way, followed by Oriana and Ezreal as well on the other side, doing a lot of damage. Ash's damage was relatively less, but Ash did the job in her team in getting the assassinations. Game 1 goes over to NA Vanguard boys. Stay tuned for game 2. A new stream link will be made very shortly. This is a best of 3 series, mind you, so the game is not over. Deimos Force have a chance to come back, but NA Vanguard are just one win away from clinching the series. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to the finals of the South Asia Championship League powered by LG Ultra Gear. We are watching the fight between Deimos Force versus NA Vanguard. NA Vanguard won game one in a very, very closely fought game, but they did come out on top and they're leading the best of three series 1-0. One more game for NA Vanguard, and this would mean that they will win SSCL Season 3. But game two has started, CA, and this time the volleyball gets banned, the Akali gets banned, but set gets left open and set gets picked by any Vanguard.
Yeah, like two changes in bans coming out from Deimos Force with the Volibear and Akali, as you mentioned, but that just leaves sets open free for them. I really like this change too. The last ban in the first game was Caitlyn, and now instead they pick up the Caitlyn Morgana. Much better lane for me rather than the Ashe and Karma, especially given the fact that this sort of lets Crixus be Crixus and sort of carry the team up front rather than being more utility focused.
Yeah, the reason I like this is twofold. It gives them an extremely strong lane to play with, but what it also does is make sure that Wonka can't play his Blitzcranks, his Leonas, and his Nautiluses because that's the kind of champions he likes to play. He might be forced to play the Brom right here or something else because none of the champions that the tanky initiating ages that Wonka is known to play are going to be viable against the I Kill Vangos, Morgana, and the bot lane. So I like that pickup a lot. I think this might be a very pivotal moment for DF if they want to come back in the series. And yeah, Ash Brom is the response. Freljord champion